Now, guitar can be tricky, and we need to make sure we're not building bad habits that can be tough to break down the line. So with that said, today's topic is 7 mistakes you're likely unaware you're making while learning guitar and need to avoid in order to play your favorite songs properly and sound like a pro. Welcome to our channel, Learn That, where we take out the fluff and give you quick, compact, straight to the point lessons to get you back to working on your craft ASAP. Let's get into it. Mistake number 1, pressing too hard on the strings. As a beginner, it's tempting to press hard on the strings thinking it'll give you a cleaner sound, but what it's actually doing is decreasing the life of your fingertips as well as making your transferring between notes and chords slower. So what you actually want to do is press just enough to get a clean sound and no more. A good way to practice this is to start really light with the fingers, hear the muting, and then gradually press harder until you get a clean sound, and then stop there. Mistake number 2, not using the tips of your fretting fingers. So when we play notes or chords with our fretting hand, we need to make sure we use the tips of our fingers, because if we don't, we're likely going to accidentally mute other strings. So I'm going to demonstrate the wrong way and the right way with a C chord, first with the right way. So if you notice I'm using the tips of my fingers, I'm kind of curling that hand around. Nice clean sound, right? Well, watch what happens when I go flat here with these fingers and try to play the same chord. You can hear that muting, right? So it's only like 2 strings that are playing right now. So you really need to make sure you curl that wrist around as much as you can and get the tips of those fingers on there to get that nice clean sound. Mistake number 3, keeping your fingers too far from the frets. Anytime you play a note or chord, you want to make sure you get your fingers as close to the back of these frets as possible. If you don't, like in this D chord, you're going to have a tough time getting a clean sound versus getting them up here right behind those frets. Nice, clean, and true sound. Get those fingers as close to these frets, behind these frets, as you can. Mistake number 4, not checking your guitar's tune before playing. This one's a bit obvious, but a lot of beginners forget this one. They pick up their guitar and start playing and wonder why it sounds off even though they've done everything right. Take your time and tune your guitar before you start every session, and you'll thank yourself for it. Now, if you don't know how to tune your guitar yet, I would suggest checking out my video that I'm linking in the description below on how to do that. Mistake number 5, not focusing on your timing. Many beginners skip this one, but timing becomes more and more important as the songs you play get more complicated. So you need to build that habit now. The 2 best ways I've found to do that are to either play alongside music or to play with a metronome, which you can get in an app. Mistake number 6, playing either too hard or too fast. It's fun to play hard and it's fun to play fast, but it's not always pretty, and it may just be the quickest way to show people you don't really know what you're doing. So first start playing slow and with good timing before you go up in intensity. Lastly, mistake number 7, improper strumming. For this one, I'm not going to go into too much detail of how to hold the pick or even specific strumming patterns because I do cover that in another video that I'm linking below, but I will talk about strumming technique. So a lot of beginners struggle with strumming because they're too rigid in the wrist and arm, and they forget the sweeping technique with the pick. So we need to focus on both of those things. So we first make sure that the arm and wrist move together in a fluid motion like this. If we're too rigid, all you're going to be able to do is play loud. So we need to make sure it's nice and fluid, like that. It works together like a wave. The other thing is sweeping with the pick. So that pick angles up when we strum down, and it angles down when we strum up. So you can start that with muted strings. And then you can add chords in after that. And really focus on a smooth movement with the arm, the wrist, and the sweep. You get that down and your playing will become much more comfortable, and you can play way harder songs because of it. Well, there you have it. Those are 7 mistakes you may have been unaware you're making, and if fixed now will dramatically improve your playing and your learning process. As always, thanks for joining me and Learn That. And remember, the more you learn it, the more you enjoy it. So please consider subscribing and building your craft with us. See ya.